Hi, this is Sanjay Parihar. I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm a technologist, and we are trying to help hospital industry by infusioning a lot of hygiene knowledge, and we are working specifically on that area. As we promised, we're going to bring a lot of notable faces from hospital industry, and we'll talk about the next step. Now, here we are with Mili Sham. Mili, thank you for joining the show.
Thank you so much, Sanjay. Great to be on the show.
Great. And ROHIT, thank you for joining the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
Yeah, great. So amazing. And if we start looking at the current perspective, what's happening, and if you look in the past, Mili Sham is one of the renowned name in the Indian tourist industry, who has contributed a lot in promoting Indian tourism, especially if it comes to European countries in Germany and other countries.
Hello, I'm Mili Sham, founder of TATTVA Tourism Solutions. We are based out of Hamburg in Germany. TATTVA, it's a Sanskrit word which means principles, reality, element or essence. For example, Panch Tattva. TATTVA Tourism Solutions is a marketing and representation company. We tie up with palace hotels, wellness retreats, resorts, jungle lodges, houseboats from India and promote, represent and market them in Europe. As we said, we are based out of Germany, so we definitely cover the German-speaking markets like Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and then of course we go on to France, UK, Belgium and the Netherlands. True to its name, TATTVA, we always look for and tie up with the properties which bring the best combination of being eco-friendly, looking after the staff, looking after the people around it, being into sustainability, looking after the environment by doing rainwater harvesting if possible, managing their compost or the waste management properly. The amenities are very important in the property because that is what the tourists are looking for. Comfort, the friendliness of the staff, the service, and of course we don't have to forget the destination where the properties are, as we pick up the properties in unique destinations. So the uniqueness and the authenticity should not be lost in the property. What we want is that the tourists who are coming all over from Europe and visiting our properties are able to explore their senses and relax. That is our basic motto. And exclusivity is our forte. Thank you very much. To know more about us and about our properties, please visit our website www.tattva-ts.com. Thank you. Namaste.
Other countries. Tell us your journey reaching to this point, and specifically handling the European countries. It's not simple. It requires a lot of passion. Tell us more about your journey so far.
Sanjay, actually my journey in the tourism industry started in 1993 when I joined the tourism industry. Before that, my journey of tourism was only going to my relatives' places, traveling by train or, the whole journey used to be so exciting. Being in the train, talking to your fellow passengers, going to the new places, then, exploring everything there, the sightseeing, monuments, the food, the culture. So this is how the tourism actually developed into me while I was a child. Then I officially joined tourism industry as a profession in 1993, wherein I joined in a very small company which used to be involved in hotels, sales and marketing. And from there, then I got into the inbound tourism from 1994, and my first marketing trip was in 1995. So my journey has actually in tourism started from scratch, from going and visiting the hotels, doing the airport transfers, escorting sometimes the groups and knowing more about the country and the people from Europe and the other parts of the world, and slowly and gradually coming onto the operations, costings, negotiations, contracting, marketing. So it's yeah.
Wearing all the hats together from the ground up, huh?
Yeah, because the last job I resigned from the position of vice president, and that was the time when I thought it is a time for me to be independent and do something which I've always wanted to do, be a bridge between the Europeans and India.
Great.
And this was one of the things which I made my mind very sure that I don't want to be a DMC. I do not want to be a tour operator, where they have over the years have become such good friends, and I didn't want to be one of the competitions standing up against them or with them. So I thought of choosing something which would bridge the gap of the Europeans and the Indians, and telling them how they can explore beautiful places tucked away, which very less people know about, and presenting them with beautiful properties, responsible properties, eco-friendly properties, sustainable properties. Yeah, so this, in short, this has been in my journey from 1993 to 2020.
Wow, it's certainly interesting to see that it's all coming from ground up, and a lot of work was required at the foundational level, which you have done, and that kind of gave you an idea about what is your niche, in a way, help you to find out your niche, right?
Yes,
it's definitely great. It's and I would definitely congratulate you on this journey, and would definitely say that this is you explained it very simply, but it's not simple. Right.
It was a lot of hard work, a lot of long nights. Yes. Sometimes not going home if you have transfers in the middle of the night.
Absolutely, sweat and blood, a lot of sweat, right? And so now in addition to that, if I ask you, you do promotion a lot of boutique hotels, and especially HRH hotels and other things. So tell us how. I mean, what are the things? How you're promoting that under HRH groups as such?
See, our basic motto for the end customer is, I have just told you about my journey, and I have been in marketing, meeting a lot of tour operators and knowing the needs of the customers. So that gave me the outlook to know what the customer actually needs when he's coming to India. So when we pick up properties, we keep that in mind, what the European customer is looking at the end product. And if you talk about HRH group of hotels, it belongs to the second oldest dynasty of the world.
Oh, wow.
The first being the Japanese, the second is the Maharana of Mewar, which is the second oldest dynasty in the world.
Wow.
And with the properties like SHIV Palace and Jagmandir Island, Gorband Palace, Gajner Palace, Shikarbari under their brand, it really makes it very exclusive, especially with the people like a Queen of England staying at SHIV Palace, all the dignitaries, Prince of Wales staying there. So it makes it very special to take these properties out to the customers and tell them more about it. And with the grandeur of the palaces, if you talk about SHIV Palace, it's a living palace with the Maharana and the family staying in the palace complex.
Wow.
With the beautiful city palace, one of the most exclusive and beautiful palaces which have been in our country. So very proud to take all these palaces out to the tour operators and to the end customers. So it's just makes us more passionate about the product which are present there. And of course the royal family is really humble, and they're very, very modest.
Wow. This is a great property. I mean, we learned something about the factual information there, right? I mean, that's great to learn. There's a lot of history involved there, right?
Yes, exactly. And if you talk about Jagmandir, the inspiration of Taj Mahal in Agra was taken up from the architecture of Jagmandir.
Wow.
It was the time when Prince Khurram was taking, he was hiding in the Jagmandir, and he got inspired with the architecture of Jagmandir Palace. And later when he became Shah Jahan, Mughal emperor, then he built up this Taj Mahal. The inspiration is coming from Chak Mandir.
Wow, fascinating. I mean, this is great.
Wow.
And, good to learn, Rohit, right? Isn't it? There's a lot.
Yeah,
Right?
it is.
Something new which you can pick it up, yes.
In fact, when Mili was explaining about these hotels, and I remember my visit to the SHIV NIWAS Palace, it's overlooking to the lake Pichola there. Am I
That's
right,
right.
Mili? Yeah,
That's
and which makes so beautiful. Like when you are in the room and you are overlooking, seeing the lake Pichola, the lake palace. It's really
yes,
fascinating to be there. In
yes.
fact, related to I'm like, I know Mili for long, and I really want to understand your selection criteria is really very tough, I suppose. So we really want to understand because there's lots of hotels in India, but Mili choose a very particular certain hotels to promote. So what's your selection criteria when you choose any hotel, Mili?
See, we are very, very strict when we come to choose the properties. We believe in quality and we do not believe in quantity. We do not want to have 20, 30, 40 hotels, but we want to have very selective range what we can present to the European clientele. So for our first and foremost thing is that they all have to be in the criteria of eco-friendly hotels, sustainable hotels, responsible hotels, whatever they can do in their own way, like hiring the local staff, giving the local produce, having their own organic gardens, doing the water sustainability, harvesting the rainwater, making the compost out of the waste, and then reusing it in their gardens. So all of these little things make a lot of difference for us to take it further and tell the world about it, that how green or how sustainable India is turning out to be. And the management, of course, makes a lot of difference. The staff makes a lot of difference at the property. If they feel home at the property, that means they are comfortable and they are ready to make the guests more comfortable in their property.
Yeah, right.
And
Right.
of course, the exclusivity, the charm, all of these things make a lot of difference. Yes, this is
Wow.
our criteria. And we first and foremost go and visit the properties, talk to the management, see how comfortable the staff is making you feel. And sometimes we do some surprise visits, we don't even tell that we are going and checking out the property. So all of these things make a lot of difference. And then we say, okay, we want to tie up maybe with this property to take it further.
Wow.
Very good. Right.
Yeah.
So that's great. In fact, like we just heard like the list of HRH hotels from you, but I see like you have much more hotels in your bucket than apart from the HRH hotels. So our audience definitely would like to know like what all the other hotels the Mili promote.
See, we promote from palace hotels to retreats, resorts, jungle lodges, houseboats. So besides HRH properties, we have the Jungle Lodge, Tiger Trails Jungle Lodge in TATTVA with only 11 rooms, out of which 4 are tented accommodation. And they are in the buffer area, which is very close to the core area. And there's no periphery dividing the buffer and the core. And you find a lot of wildlife within the resort. So much so that they had to fence up the residential area so that the wildlife is not coming into the residential area. They have like some tigers, some pack of wild dogs right in their periphery. So you really don't have to go out. It's like being in the African lodge. They have watchtowers. You can just be on the watchtower full day. You don't have to go to the jungle to do the safaris. You can just spend your time at the watchtower and watch the wild around you. You can spend the night at the watchtower and see how the wildlife behaves during the night. Then we have properties like Koti Resort, which is based out in Shimla with a 50 room. It is in Mashopra area, which has a 360-degree view of the mountain range.
Wow.
It is secluded, tucked away from the rush of the Shimla, and you are on the mountain top with a beautiful view. You can go for beautiful hikes, walks, and also there are apple plantation where you can do some research and you pluck your own apples. Then we have 100%, I would not say 100% because it's very difficult to be 100%, very good, its maximum is Eco Lodge. It is also a Gaj retreat in Hoshiarpur in Punjab. Now you would ask me, why would somebody go there?
Right. In fact, this question has come to me. Why somebody will go to Hoshiarpur?
Yes. So Anandpur Sahib, which is only 45 minutes from Hoshiarpur, this is where the Sikhism started. And the first Sikh temple, or the Gurudwara as we call it, is out of Anandpur Sahib. And the museum of Anandpur Sahib is, I mean, one of the best museums we have ever seen in India. The entrance to that museum is free, and it is the architect is from Iran, and it's been funded by the Punjab government. And it's one of very, very exclusive monuments. I mean, if you guys get a chance, I would say please go and visit it. So, and this retreat is majorly eco-friendly retreat on the riverside, and they have 50 rooms with some of the private pool villas. So you have the luxury of going to Anandpur Sahib, spending your day, which is only 45 minutes, come back to the luxury, and it gives you a rural experience. Then Amritsar is not far away from there. It's only about 2.5 hours drive. So somebody wants to go and visit Golden Temple, it's also another option to go and visit the Golden Temple in the morning, then do the Wagah border and come back to the Gaj retreat for your relaxation and the luxury. It's like rustic style, but it has all the luxuries, and you feel like in a rural experience. And this could also be a base for people going to Dharamshala, which is about 3 hours, 15 minutes from there. So it's kind of a base where you can do many activities. And this is also not very well known, this place. So this is also our forte, that we took up places which are not very well known and put it on the tourism map. Besides these, we have some of the Tamara Kurg we have, which is tucked away on one of the hills in Kurg, because Kurg is divided in all the valleys and hills, and they cover nearly about 200 acres, and they have only about 56 cottages. It's in the live coffee plantation, coffee and pepper plantation. If it's like the harvest time, then the guests can pick up their own beans, but on a regular basis they can blend their own coffee there. And taking the walks and hikes there is just beautiful. The Tamara is also coming up with another property in Alleppey, which is going to be a 19-room property, 100% Ayurveda, under the name of Amal Tamra. So this is going to be opening in October 2020, if everything goes well. And it's also on lake, it's by the lakeside, and purely Ayurveda with very good doctors on site, providing Ayurveda meals and all the massages. And we are expecting the stay to be here from 7 nights to 28 nights, because that's what you really require when you're doing an Ayurveda treatment. Then, of course, we have Nileshwar Hermitage, which is in Kasaragod, northern Kerala, with only 18 cottages, which are all very well spread. It's on the beach side. Also an Ayurveda property, and also a beach property to relax and feel the beautiful beaches of Kerala. Along with the Nileshwar Hermitage, they have a Lotus houseboat, which is only a 2-bedroom houseboat, and this sails on the Malabar backwaters of Kerala. And Malabar backwaters are not as much crowded as the Alleppey backwaters of Kerala. It's much more serene and calm and fascinating. Of course, Nileshwar has another houseboat in Srinagar. This is one of the best houseboats in Srinagar, with only 5 rooms there. And I think we all know that the houseboats in Srinagar do not float. They are stationary. And to reach the houseboat, you have to go with a shikara, cross the Dal, and go on a shikara to the houseboat. And their houseboat has an upper deck where you can enjoy your breakfast and dinner. And all the walnut wood carving is just so beautiful.
Wow.
Now, this is the list of our hotels, what we are promoting. So it starts from basically 2 rooms and goes up till 100 rooms. The last one, of course, I forgot to mention, is Atmantan Wellness Resort. It is in Pune by Mulshi Lake. It is a wellness retreat. So it has Ayurveda, fitness, wellness, yoga, meditation. It's a complete package. And the atmosphere is so beautiful there. It's about 2 hours drive from the Pune airport, so it's not in the Pune city. Based by Mulchi Lake, which is a man-made lake. It is not a natural lake, and it's now owned by the Tata Group. But the view, when you reach the hotel, when you go to the dining area, the view itself is wellness. It just calms you down. It's also built on a crystal hill, so it has all the energies, good energies and good vibes. I would rather let Nikhil talk more about it.
Yeah, in fact, like, when the a couple like who has been promoting itself is too much involved with the wellness.
Oh, yes.
Like, so that makes it so beautiful.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, Sanjay.
Yeah, so I mean, this is just definitely interesting, and to hear that the calmness and something that is what world need now in the COVID-19, right? And so now my question is a little different now. Mili, we are going through a big transition phase right now.
Right.
Every tourist has certain thought process about what to do, and they are learning as they go, right? What's your message to them, to tourists as such?
Well, my message would be that, we all would have to learn to live with this virus. This is one of any other viruses. I mean, we have so many viruses. We are living with thousands of viruses, and we will have to accept it, one of the viruses, and live our lives.
Right.
Because if you see the infection rate is, I think there are about 8 million people who are infected at the moment, as per the current situation, as per what they are saying. So the rate of recovery is more than 50%, and the rate of mortality is really, really, really low. Yes, of course, the people with the elderly people or the people with medical histories have to be careful. But the people who are healthy, they are, they can live with this virus. And of course, in Europe and in the Western world, I would rather say, there is already a concept of social distancing. And the tourists, when they travel to anywhere out of their country, they're carrying sanitizers along with their sunglasses and their suntan lotions. They're also carrying sanitizers and wet wipes.
Right.
Of course, now we are more conscious of washing our hands for 20 seconds and using the sanitizers, and additional is the mask and the gloves. But at the end of the day, we don't want to lose the charm of travel. The charm of tourists coming to India and feeling the senses, the culture, the heritage, because this is all what is the charm of travel. Besides, following the safety measures, we should not lose all of this.
Yeah, and the charm of the travel is experience, right? I mean, and that experience is invaluable because of people are going from one place to another place. Right, and in a way, I see that people were already following in European countries and United States as well. It's a kind of more extension to it in a way. So
That's right.
Right, and now I mean, when we come to the different part of hospital industry, so you know India very well, and a way you represent the prospect of tourists traveling to India, as well as service providers like hotels, operators, transporters, and tour guide. You can bridge the best both perspective. So, Mili, what's your recommendation for those service provider as such?
Before answering this question, I would just ask all of us this
Yeah.
one little question.
Yeah.
With this COVID-19, the virus which is being treated like a pest, who has been affected the most? If we all stop, think about it, it is per se the tourism industry.
Absolutely.
Whether you
Right.
talk about the aviation, you talk about the
Yeah.
transportation, the restaurants, the hotels, the tour operators, the ticketing agents, the OTAs, the restaurants, the theaters, they're all part of tourism, the guides, the monuments. If we all step back and see, the maximum damage has been to the tourism industry.
Right.
The first one to get damaged, the last one to revive, which will also trickle down. So I think in this time, we all have to stand up together, united, not against each other, not with our egos, not keeping in mind that he's a competition or she's a competition and I can't be in the same room with the same person. We all have to get together, especially the Indian tourism fraternity. All the associations have to get together, Faith, FICCI, IATO, all of us, we have to all stand together and fight for the tourism to be getting back.
Right. In just to add some more thoughts, based on the analysis, 5 out of 20 affected industry is tourism.
Yes.
And like you said, I mean, this is time to work together, and that's kind of aligning with our mission as well in the Triluxo. We want to get the positivity out because there's enough analysis, enough moaning, groaning happen.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And enough analysis. I mean, everybody knows what is the dark side of it. Now let's get to away from mental block, and that's what our Triluxo mission is as such. And we want to reach out and get some messages from people like you and other people to spread the word to the people who is badly need. Positivity is the only thing which sounds like the next
Positivity is
step.
the only thing, because see, there's no money which is coming into anybody's account from professional side in the
Right.
tourism industry.
Exactly.
It's only that the money is going out.
Right.
We are draining out on our savings, and how long will that happen?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
we all have to stand up together for this cause. If we all want the tourism to be back, even if we want to go to the government for asking for aid and help, we all have to, until and unless we're not standing together, united,
Right.
with a positive attitude, nothing's going to move. I mean, people are fighting in their own little ways, but they're making very small associations.
Right.
True.
It's
Yeah.
better to get together, get united with a positive attitude and go forward.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's the only mantra which can help, which can work this time.
Exactly. Yeah.
So now, I mean, with that thought process, coming back to yoga and Ayurveda, it is represents India in ancient culture. A lot of things are there. How you are planning to promote that yoga and Ayurveda as such?
See, these are the ones which are the immunity boosters. And this is what we need or require right now. The immunity to be strong to fight the viruses, whether it's COVID-19 or maybe tomorrow there's another virus which is coming up with a new name.
Yeah.
We have to have a good immune system. And if we practice yoga, Ayurveda, meditation regularly, the viruses cannot harm us the way they can harm people with low immunity. And this is the key to a healthy lifestyle. And if you see, we are promoting a lot of Ayurveda and Ayurveda properties, which are also into Ayurveda, yoga, meditation, which we have been telling a lot of operators, and it's getting a very good response. And Germany, any which way, is very close to Ayurveda. They have been promoting or practicing Ayurveda for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And we find all the herbs and medicines in Ayurveda, which we can use in our daily life to to boost our immunity, and also with some basic simple asanas of yoga, which will also with the breathing exercises, with Surya Namaskar, the stretching exercises, our immune system can really get a boost.
Wow.
This is what we have to take it forward to the end customer, who was the customer for us. And we keep educating our tour operators about it, and who keep further educating their clients on it.
Absolutely. And going back to the past, learning from the past is kind of key.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Ancient knowledge.
Yeah, and that still works because it's working on the internal immune system as such, right?
Exactly.
So
and if you talk about herbs, if you just take turmeric powder, a pinch of turmeric water in very little warm water, like a shot, if you take it once in a day, any time of the day, it's an immunity booster, and it's an anti-inflammatory, which just heals you from inside. If we remember when we used to fall as children, our grandparents would always say, "Oh, put some turmeric in warm milk and drink," because it just heals you all the internal wounds.
Right, exactly.
Very, very little things. It's all available in everybody's kitchen.
Right, and a lot of knowledge base is already there in the internet, so we are just referring to that in a way. Now coming back to one other interesting question, Emily, is you are a very frequent traveler as well, so so how do you see as Mili as a traveler now? How different you will be now as such?
Well, it's not a very easy situation right now, because right now the travels have really been restricted. And thankfully in Europe we don't have to wear masks and wear gloves when we are driving, or when we are in our own cars. But if you're going in the public transport, of course we have to cover our mouths and wear probably a shield, and also wear gloves. We have always been carrying our sanitizers in our purses and our bags, that you have to sanitize if you're going in a public transport, not to carry infections.
Right.
Yes, it is going to change quite a lot, but I'm hoping not that we have to call it a new normal, because we want to get back to our original normal.
Yeah.
And be more careful with all the all the travels.
Right. Having social distancing and everything as per the guideline.
Yes, social distancing, covering your faces with the mask. I would rather prefer a shield than to cover my mouth. Yeah, because the expression is on the face.
Right. Wow. And while we are about to wrap up our call, our discussion here, and what's your advice to these travelers? Because they want to travel. Many of the people I hear, they definitely want to travel because while. So what's your advice to them as such?
My advice to them is be safe, be strong, be positive, and while traveling, while keeping all the safety measures in practice, do not lose the charm of experience the country where you're going. Great.
With that thought, Mili, it's a very, very great discussion with you. Definitely a pleasure to have you here. Thank you very much. Stay on. Please stay on. We'll have follow-up questions with you. But for this discussion, thank you very much for joining, Mili.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Rohit.
Thank you, Mili. And thank you, Sanjay.
Thank you.